Hi guys, yes, it's me, your dorky friend Lisa. This week we're not gonna do a book. We're not doing Naked Girl story time. We're just having me story time. I have always loved fairy tales. Growing up, I was read to a lot, and fairy tales were always my favorite. When I got older, I realized a lot of those had much darker, like, older versions, and I got into finding those and reading them. And now, of course, I love the modern adaptations of them. You know, like, some of them are quite funny, you know, some of them are also erotic. You never know what you're going to find. Fairy tales have been around forever. They were usually ways to teach children what not to do by scaring them of what the possibilities could be, of outcomes, I should say. And, you know, as you get older, they're, you know, again, they're entertaining. There's some funny, like I said, some would be erotic. Anyway, there's always a theme of they tend to make the witch characters evil and ugly, which I did not like. I'm like, why the witch can't be the good guy? Why the witch can't be pretty? You know? And honestly, by some story standards now, like Elsa from Frozen, she would be considered a witch, I guess. So, you know, beautiful, smart, doesn't take any shit. Anyway, so I decided to rewrite some classics a while ago, and I've been meaning to read these and post them, do something with them, but just, you know, life, time. Anyway, so this video I'm only going to read one, which is my version of Hansel and Gretel. So here we go. Once upon a time, in the middle of the forest, lived a sweet old lady who was a kitchen witch. She cooked up a spell to make her house edible. She loved all living things and wanted no one or thing to go hungry. She set her spell in place, and within no time all the creatures of the forest began to visit her candy cottage. One day she heard children scream out with excitement outside her door, which was odd, being where she lived no human usually appeared. She stuck her head out of her gingerbread framed window and exclaimed, "Hello, children." They started laughing and explaining that they were so hungry because they hadn't eaten in days and thought for sure they would starve to death. The old kitchen witch immediately invited them in and began preparing a huge meal for the children. Once done cooking, she sat down in her modest cottage at her dinner table and asked the children to explain what had happened to them. They began to tell of their poor father and mean stepmother, and how she sent them out in the woods to trick them into getting lost so she wouldn't have to care for them anymore. This made the old woman sad and mad for the greed of the stepmother and the lack of heart for the children's father. She thought of her own life of loneliness with no one to care for and no one to care for her except her animal friends. She had no children of her own, though she had midwived many in her youth. She had no companion again except for her forest friends. Being very old, she of course had already buried her own parents. She decided immediately that she would take care of these unwanted children and help them to never feel unloved again. So years passed, and the old kitchen witch raised Hansel and Gretel as her very own. Many more lost and abandoned children made their way to the candy cottage as time passed, which got a gingerbread expansion to accommodate them all. When the old woman had passed away, Gretel took over the responsibility of the abandoned, and Hansel went out into the world to help all those to find their way to her. Don't worry about their parents. The old kitchen witch was wise and sent a spell out into the world through her bird friends, so they would only be able to feel loss and misery for the rest of their lives. So that ended a happy ending, you know. You got the kids being taken care of, not eaten, and all the other lost children coming to the witch's cottage, and then, you know, it kind of got passed along. So what'd you think? Is that interesting to you? Anyway, I have more stories. I'll do another video. If you like this one, like it and comment below what you think I should else, what other witch story you want me to rewrite. Have a good night, guys.